Hey, it's me, Gazbot. It is Friday, late afternoon. This is the weekend after I went on my big mountain pilgrimage. So I'm doing voiceover. It's now Monday. This is just over a week ago that I recorded this. This is immediately following the video where I walked up the hill, the mountain, whatever, the molehill. And this is me. It's sort of a fake because I came in and I did all this. And I'm like, this would be a nice little thing to show how I kind of like come in and set up. And, so I just went back out and redid the whole thing with the camera set up. It's also kind of a weird angle. I don't know. I'm just trying to mix it up. But I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this, but I was happy because after the big day of climbing the mountain and everything else I did, I came in and drew. And I drew for about 20 minutes, which isn't that long. But again, it had already been a long day. And I finished up a sketch card rough. For Pandon from Ultra 7. And it was the final sketch card of the 10 that I had to do. Now, I still have to do the actual analog versions, but as I've talked before, the digital rough is the hardest for me, and I think I'm the only one that does it this way. I will spend at least an hour, maybe more, on the rough before even like starting the card, and that's crazy, but that's the only way I know how to do it. But I was happy that I did that, and what I did, it's about 20 minutes of me sitting here working, and the actual art file, it starts from the beginning as opposed to where I actually started, but I figured I'd just put it up there. And this video, as I'm looking at it now, it's about 20 minutes long. It's not going to be 20 minutes long. I'm going to talk for a little bit, and then I'm going to speed up the action, quote unquote, to match my voiceover, because right now I haven't even started drawing, although when you're watching it, I will have. So what am I talking about? Well, a couple things. When I posted that last video, again, I had done a bunch of videos in the last couple months with all different tones, from just like, hey, happy, upbeat, hey, not talking about art, hey, only talking about art, talking about failures, talking about successes, talking about the future, talking about the past, getting too personal, getting not personal enough. And so when I did it, I wasn't sure if I was going to post it. And then at first I had comments not turned off, but set to moderation, because I don't know, I just had an idea that people might get on there and be like, shut up, you privileged person that has stupid problems. And like, I don't know. I felt kind of dumb complaining about it. It's that thing of like, even though it's true for me and it is, a struggle, quote unquote, it's not, other people have much bigger struggles and, different truths and blah, 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 blah. But it's, it's that thing of like, just because someone's starving doesn't mean you can't be hungry, but it's still, I don't know. I don't like complaining, and I like to try to power through things, but for a while my version of powering through things still has not been very good. And anyone that has been following me with any level of interest or consistency would be like, boy, he seems to have just either dropped off the face of the earth or stopped doing his comic, or just, the output is dramatically slowed for seemingly no reason. And it's not that I have been lazy or lost my, interest in art or whatever, although at times that is true, but that's a temporary thing, not a permanent thing. Anyway, I posted it, and the comments I got were all generally positive, and so thank you for that. And so this is the follow-up to just show, like, I thought about ending the other video with this, but it just didn't seem to fit the tone, and I loved the idea of like, I crossed that off my list of climbing a mountain, and that's kind of a fun thing. So this is just a follow-up to that. Life isn't magically better from then to now, but as I said, I've sort of the last month or so been on an upswing after, the last few years have been ups and downs, but my baseline had gone way down. So even in those ups and downs, I was just at a much lower level in all ways. And I feel like my baseline is rising over the last month, maybe 2 months. And I've had a couple good days. And so I'm still not where I want to be in a lot of ways, in my art, of course, as well, both in terms of quality and output. But I'm doing more than I've done in a while consistently. I finished these sketch cards. I did, over the course of the last couple weeks, I did 4 Power Rangers prints that I'm going to put in. And I've been working on the horror again. My next video will be a horror production report update, actually, which is already filmed, but I just, I'm putting this one up first. And, but just, yeah, and that's the thing, like, and let me keep complaining and add on. But like, again, I don't want to get too into it, but I also worry that people think I don't have reasons or good enough reasons. And in addition to everything else I said, about things going on in the background of my life, a couple other things I didn't even mention, like one of my cats died of, and it's the second time I've had a cat die, and both times didn't we're not quick, let's put it that way. And so that was something. I'm testing, eat a bite. Why was I testing? Because I paused for a minute and then I just recorded another 10 minutes of me talking, and it recorded and it wasn't muted, but for some reason it's just a flat waveform, nothing. And I stopped it, erased it, did everything I could, and now we're back doing this. And oh, that sucks, because that was I was getting a little personal and a little emotional, and I forget half of what I said, and I maybe don't want to say it again. The I guess the short version is I was talking about my cat. Another thing was about my father. My father's an alcoholic. Long story short, we haven't been on speaking terms for the last 3 or 4 years, which is part of the whole mess that my life has been. Oh, woe is me. Everything's fine, though. I'm doing okay. I'm trying not to take client work, or if I do, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm trying to take it for things I enjoy. But even then, I feel like I should be working on the horror, blah, blah, blah. It was a lot more heartfelt the first time around. And this is meant, I think I may have already said this, but this is meant to be the bridge between the video I just had and next videos, which will be more art-centric, and I'll be doing a lot less moaning and woe is meing. Although I may try to be more open. But again, it's not like I've lied in the past or whatever, but I didn't always share everything. I don't know. If it's pertinent and it makes sense, if I'm like, oh boy, I haven't drawn in 2 weeks, maybe I'll tell you why, instead of just not being around for 2 weeks. I don't know. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. I lost everything, but I want to get this video up today so that I want to get this done. And this is the other thing. I have a little bit of time, not a lot, and I wanted to work on the horror a little bit, but instead I'm re-recording this audio, which goes back to the age-old thing of the artcaster, YouTuber, content creator of like, well, I should be drawing, but instead I'm doing this. And, bump. I've totally lost my train of thought. I'll be doing less personal sharing going forward, but for those that enjoy it, or at the very least are supportive, I appreciate the positive comments. I do, because I've gone back and forth about sharing any of this, and I've made a million videos, and I didn't even know if I'd put that one up and whatever. So I may be repeating what I said. I'm sorry, because I've lost all track of what I've said because of the audio issues I'm having. But I have these sketch cards that I have to transfer to analog. My plan is to finish inking the page of the horror I'm currently working on. Then I have 4 Power Rangers prints that are done, but I want to just fine tune them a little bit, send them to the printer. Then I will start working on the analog versions of these sketch cards, while at the same time maybe starting inking on the next page of the horror. That's kind of my rough plan, not giving any kind of timeline, but I am also want to try to touch art every single day, which has not been something I've been doing. I've been doing that the last couple of weeks, but there was a long time where for like a week would go by and I wouldn't draw a single thing. Not even a doodle, So I'm trying to make a point of, even if it's just a doodle, hopefully more than that, but just, every day I'm not drawing, I'm not an artist. I have that kind of philosophy. People like, did you write today? You're a writer, so that kind of thing. Like, yeah, I'm really sorry. I feel like I did a really good job explaining everything and talking and being engaging and interesting and vulnerable. And it's just all gone to the ether now. And I'm hoping that this one doesn't do the same thing. But I am going to sign off now, and the next video you see from me will be a horror update report, which is actually already done, but I wanted to put this up in between. And then, again, I'm not committing to any specific schedule or any posting up time, but I will try to be a little bit more around. My first priority is drawing more. My first priority is getting the horror done more. My second priority is just drawing in general more, and my third priority is having videos or content about it. And I think I said this before, but like, if I'm not on YouTube and you're interested, I'm always posting on Instagram, even if it's just images of artwork I'm working on. And I post process videos on TikTok sometimes, Facebook and Twitter. Like, I'm always around a little bit, but yeah, YouTube is where you get the most real me and the most chunky meat. All right, so I'm watching Last of Us, and it's a fantastic show, and you should too. Now I'm going to say goodbye. So I'm doing voiceover. Oh, that's... Why am I getting that? That sounds horrible.